Thank you for plugging into this Family Life News podcast, streaming issues-driven, family-focused news.
This is Faith Under Fire. Each Thursday on Family Life, we give voice to religious battlegrounds in this nation. I'm your host, Tracy Lynn. With us today, Nick Beckman, Strategic Relationships Manager with Mercy Chefs. Mercy Chefs is a disaster relief organization. Would you give us a snapshot of the folks you typically help and what that help looks like?
Yeah, we are a faith-based disaster relief nonprofit, primarily serving in the U.S. in the wake of natural disasters and national emergencies. We've worked internationally quite often in the past, but never in Europe. So this is a new deployment for us and our team. We love all and we serve all. So if somebody's hurting, or even if they're volunteering, helping hurting folks, we're there to come alongside them and give them a hot meal when they need it.
Ah, super. I so appreciate it. So in the midst of the Russian attack on Ukraine, Nick, please tell us about the conditions you're seeing in Poland to the northwest and Romania to the southwest as Mercy Chef reaches out hands to displaced Ukrainians.
We're primarily working in Romania right now. We're hearing reports out of Poland of the chaos and the stress, which is to be expected when people are fleeing from such atrocities. But in Romania, it's rather calm, and it's a really beautiful scene watching Romanian citizens stand and wait at the border for their Ukrainian neighbors to walk across. They're welcomed with open arms, calmly and peacefully. You know, in the midst of such awful circumstance, it's such a beautiful thing to watch these Romanians just open their arms in their country, oftentimes opening their homes, their businesses, their pocketbooks to their neighbors.
So there in Romania, you're not only providing meals, but you're helping with housing. Is that right?
We're doing the best we can. Yeah, we're trying to connect folks with potential housing opportunities, but our lane is food, and that's kind of where we're staying right now.
Makes sense. And so where are the chefs actually preparing the meals to help the refugees? I'm sure it's a fluid situation.
It is. So right now we're not doing hot meals yet. The goal is always to be doing hot meals, but we have to spin up equipment and supply lines in order to make that happen. So at the moment, we are buying and staging groceries, non-perishable food items, as well as emergency supplies. We have contacts that are moving product over the border into Ukraine, hours and hours into Ukraine. We're trying to keep that on the down low as to where we're actually going in Ukraine. But we have moved hundreds of thousands of pounds of product already in the last week into Ukraine, as well as distributing in Romania to displaced Ukrainians.
Wow. It must be overwhelming and yet really exciting. How are the emergency relief food packets different from the meals you typically serve, and then what's involved in making them and transporting them where they're most needed?
Right now, it's all about getting people food. There's no wrong way to do food. We love doing it hot and chef prepared, but when we need to, we're getting people dried and cured meats and shelf-stable items that'll sustain them in the long hours of waiting to see what's next for them. So that's the most important thing right now.
You mentioned some of the things as a foodie. Would you like to share any of the other things, like what's on the menu of these meals?
Yeah, like I said, we're not doing hot meals just yet, but we like to make sure that we're involved in the local culture and the local cuisine. So we'll be sure and use menu items from Romania and Ukraine to make people feel as comfortable as possible when cooking for them.
Yeah, neat. And it's a neat opportunity for the rest of us to learn more about what are the common foods of those countries. I've been doing a little research online. Nick, how does faith drive this dangerous effort, and what are some of the unanticipated challenges workers are now facing?
Yeah, really, we couldn't do it without faith, without the Lord's providence and guiding hand on what we do. It's been amazing to watch doors open. Our founders went over to Romania just over a week ago with nothing and no idea of what to do, a few church contacts potentially. And in the last 8 days, we've seen doors fly open and the Lord move mountains for us to get product to people that really need it. So in the midst of one of the scariest situations we've ever seen, it's been only the Lord's guidance that's enabled us to keep doing what we do.
And where can folks learn more about Mercy Chefs?
MercyChefs.com is the best place to find us. You'll find links to all our social media. We're posting regular updates there, as well as ways for folks to get involved. Just keep praying for the folks of Eastern Europe. They are walking through unimaginable suffering right now, watching mothers and children come across their borders after having said goodbye to fathers and grandfathers and sons as those men go back to fight. I can't imagine. I hope I never have to imagine what that would be like. So keep saying prayers for these folks as they do their best to figure out what's next in search of a better life.
That's Nick Beckman with Mercy Chefs. I'm Tracy Lynn, Family Life News.